Hello everybody,
Hello.
I'm James, I'm here with Mark. We're looking at some of his miniatures. It's Monday.
So what day is it?
It's Monday.
It's Monday, it's just Monday now.
Mark's Miniature Monday.
Wonderful.
So we're going to look at a project that you worked on for issue 405 of Wargames Illustrated. I think this is probably my favourite thing that you've done this month.
Brilliant.
So we got some really cool cover art based on the free frames that come with the issue. And you took that as your starting point and went away with it. So do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so we started off, we had the free frames and we had this wonderful artwork.
Yeah, Neil Roberts did a cracking job
It's
on
absolutely
that.
incredible. In my studio, it is up on the wall there.
Right.
And so we've got these two, and now we've got to decide somehow how can we emulate in this artwork, how can we transform these miniatures in the frame to represent what was in that artwork. So obviously this requires kit bashing, a lot of kit bashing.
Yes.
And you got to delve into my own bits box, but also bits box which you had a hand in creating as well whilst here.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of stuff into the office for reviewing things, and that includes obviously plastic kits. We've got Wargames Atlantic stuff, we've got Warlord Games stuff, we've got Perry Miniatures stuff, we've got things from all kinds of other people. And you basically just delved through, found bits and put them with the...
I spent a morning rummaging.
Yeah.
It was it was an incredible morning. You know, there's instances when you're making miniatures where it's tiresome. This was not one of them. This really wasn't exciting.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, what can I do? How will this fit? Oh, this helmet with this gas mask. Will I be able to hack the head away? And will I be able to fit these? Do the scales work? There's so many thoughts going on whilst working on this. Yeah, it was a real pleasure to do.
And it came out pretty well in the end. I mean, you obviously dry fitted and tested things out, and eventually you settled on these three characters who you built and painted. Yeah. So should we take a look at them in turn and you can tell us a bit what went into them? So first of all, are you calling this guy the Armoured?
The Armoured chap.
Yeah. The Armoured chap.
The Armoured chap.
Technical name.
Yep.
So first thing, it's the British Anglo-ZULU war frame, the British infantry, and you've kind of turned them to be steampunky.
Steampunkified. Yes. Yeah.
So you've still got like the pith helmet that is quite iconic, and you've got, are they the same legs?
The same legs, added pouches on there. So I green stuff sculpted a whole bunch of pouches just to balance the miniature out a little better.
Yeah.
When I glued the armoured torso on, it looked very top heavy, so we needed a bit of extra bulking around the thighs and his waist, just to give the miniature that kind of a better feel in essence. When you looked at it, it just felt wrong initially.
Yeah, well, I mean, because you've swapped the torso. So this is from one of the Wargames Atlantic kits, right? It's the EISENKERN STORMTROOPERS kit, I believe it's called.
That's a hell of a name.
Yep. So they've got these kind of sci-fi armoured torsos, but looks really fitting. Doesn't look out of place at all on the model. And are the arms from something else?
I believe the arms are from that set as well.
From the thing. And then the weapon is a GW one, right?
I believe so. The weapon is from an ADMEC, so an ADEPTUS MECHANICUS set. So if you're ever doing any steampunk related conversions, they're fantastic. Their sets, they're basically Games Workshop steampunk range.
Yeah, good for Inquisitor 28 stuff
great
as well.
For Inquisitor. They've got some new miniatures which have been released, or newish I suppose, in the last year, which are very Leonardo da Vinci flying machine.
Oh yes,
kind of inspired. And yeah, they've got some really interesting things in that sense.
Yeah. So I mean, you've obviously hacked and stuck the bits together.
Yep.
For the most part, it was a pretty good fit, right? This one.
For the most part, yeah. Like I said, apart from the upper body being a bit bulkier.
Yeah.
But it fitted quite neatly. When I removed the upper torso from the line infantryman, there was a bit of filing involved to try and ensure that the fit was as neat as possible. Yeah. But for the most part, it slotted in there nicely. Yeah,
and then as you said, you added some pouches, you put some extra tubing, and in the article you go in depth into just how to
make the
create
tubing.
that ribbed kind of tubing. So, and then you painted him up, and you've kind of kept it similar to the kind of box art and cover art that we've got in terms of paint scheme. And you talk a little bit about painting in the article, but not in great detail. So it's more about kit bashing.
It's a kit bashing article with a flavour of painting.
Yes. So is there anything else you want to sort of point out on this guy, or?
So one final thing was attaching the head.
Okay.
The head itself doesn't contain a neck component,
Right.
And then the torso, there's no neck. So obviously I had to sculpt a neck,
Yeah.
which, given, as you can see, there's not much room to maneuver or play with there. You're not going to get a sculpting tool in there. It was more just attach a small nodule of green stuff and wedge it down and hope that it works okay. And I think it did.
Yeah, I mean, so this is part of the joy of kit bashing, right? You can hide your like little errors or little joins behind pipes or pouches, or even just hide your sins with painting.
Yeah,
like get some shadow painted in there and stuff.
Yeah, the tubing, the piping is particularly good at hiding anything which you may not have been able to do as precise as you wanted, primarily usually due to the nature of the sculpt.
Yes.
Sometimes you just can't get the tool in there, so you will need to hide those things.
Yeah, or sort of build it in parts, and then super glue is great because you can super glue green stuff together, obviously. So then we're on to the kind of commanding officer figure.
Yeah, the sergeant, I would assume he was, if he's leading a platoon. And this guy, I really like this guy. It was a challenge finding a bionic arm to fit identically the box art.
Yeah, because he's pointing on the box art, isn't he? But
initially I did try a bionic arm which was pointing, but it didn't quite have the right scale. So got rid, changed it, gave him this sword. And I actually, again, this is from the ADMEC.
Is it SKITARII?
This is SKITARII, SKITARII. I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced.
It's probably not pronounced like that.
Yeah.
I've pronounced so many Games Workshop names wrong in my time. It's unbelievable.
There's so many of them are Latin-based, and there's no correct pronunciation of Latin, so we'll go with whichever we're happy with.
It's a fantasy world,
Exactly,
whatever's fine. Like, but yeah, it's actually quite a simple one, this guy, right? Because
very much so,
really just the arm and tubes and bits?
Arm, tubes. His right arm is actually an arm which typically holds a rifle, but I removed the trigger finger, the trigger component of it, which was mounted there, and it actually looks like he's just braced against himself. So I was actually really quite happy with that one.
Or even almost reaching into one of his pouches, perhaps. Because you redid the arm on this guy after you put it. It was slightly long at first, right? And you kind of cut it back.
Yeah.
So because that's something that you need to be careful with when doing kit bashes. Make sure all the limbs are the right length.
Yeah, that obviously being a bionic arm, technically it could be as long as you want.
Well, yes. Inspector Gadget style,
exactly, yeah. A really simple way of comparing arm size is not just to, don't just leave it on the miniature and try and guess. You can actually hold them next to each other. Yeah. And it sounds really simple, but it's something that older people just don't even do something that's as rudimentary as that. Yeah. So enjoyed making that little guy.
Yeah, he's almost the simplest, but he's one of the more effective. He's
almost iconic, isn't he? He's got the moustache, the sideburns. He is the iconic British line infantryman from.
He's got that Zulu period, vibe, for sure. Yeah. First rank fire, second rank fire.
Exactly,
except he can't fire.
Volley fire going on there.
And then your final one. This one's really a bit more wacky, really cool.
More wacky. I really wanted this one to fit the box art. Yeah. So there was a challenge in two senses. One, first of all, was the face. So finding a mask which worked. So managed to get a mask. Which range was that? Do you remember?
It's Wargames Atlantic, right? Was it the Grognards?
It was, yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Because I've reviewed a lot of these kits, and then they just get put in the bits box.
And I located them, and then I get to play with these wonderful miniatures.
So you've then dug in, and this is also from the Grognards, but it's modified, right?
It is.
So that's a sniper rifle originally.
It's a sniper rifle from, is it the Command?
Yeah, it's like Command and Heavy Weapons. Yeah. Which
cut the end of the barrel off and stuck on what appears to be a miniature Tesla coil.
Yeah, it's like
which I've literally no idea where that came from. It was in my bits box. It's the great thing about having a really well established bits box. You will find stuff in there. Yes. You have no idea where it came from. But you know what? It works.
It works.
It works.
And I think what I like about this figure is, and I don't think, because there is an article on these builds in the magazine, but I don't think it's mentioned, is you've got a shoulder pad on this arm, which comes as part of that arm, I'm assuming. There's no shoulder pad on that arm originally, or is there? There is. It's just snuck in.
It was a slightly different arm. Yeah. And I had to green stuff work around the wrist to get it to work on there. Yeah. And so when you're doing kit bashes, you will find that there's trickier parts such as that, where you have to green stuff around a little bit. Yeah. Which, obviously, if you just putting the miniatures together as the build instructions are.
They should fit.
They should fit.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not always the case, but they should.
Yeah. But you've hidden any like little bits with, again, these tubes coming from the pack to the gas mask.
Yeah.
And that changes it from being a standard gas mask as well, makes it more like a sort of full rebreather kind of kit.
Yeah, when I put that on there and I put this huge backpack, I thought actually it'd be really cool if it did have some form of rebreather, gas tank kind of component to it.
He looks like he could go on Mars as well as in the
he looks like he could literally anywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he could have a fight anywhere and come out on top.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they're really cool, and we've got more on them in the magazine. But you weren't satisfied with just that.
I was not. While I was in the flow and kit bashing away, my mind, creative juices completely just going for it. I produced a couple of other chappies as well. Yeah. So obviously not a Zulu warrior, but could potentially be an enemy combatant for these line infantrymen. He's a Sudanese individual, which...
Yeah, it's from the MAHDIST ANSAR box set that the Perrys do, isn't it?
Really great little box set. And so I gave him an Afrofuturism look, but I wanted to be really sympathetic to him. I wanted him to have a more organic, futuristic, elite appearance. So what I went for ultimately was, these are components from a box of Wood Elves.
Yes.
SUDANESE, I believe they're now called.
Yeah, they've rebranded them, haven't they? They're still Wood Elves to me.
Still Wood Elves, always be Wood Elves to me. Yeah, always be Wood Elves.
Yeah, so you've got the cloak, the spear, and the shield.
So the cloak and the spear are from Sisters of THORN box set. The shield, I believe, is from the Eternal Guard box set.
So that's a bit of a heavier kind of...
So heavy infantry, yeah.
And I really like the dynamism and flow of the model. It does, as you say, very organic and an incredibly different feel to the steampunk ones that you've created.
So I thought you created the kind of perfect counterpoint.
Yes, So that's something you've not painted this one yet, but good opposing force for sure.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then you went even crazier.
Well, I found this miniature, while I was rummaging around, I found this miniature.
Okay,
and I'm going to pass it over to you to tell me where this miniature came from originally.
So this would be a Gripping Beast, Order Militant Hexencutioner.
Hexencutioner,
interesting. I really like this range from Gripping Beast. They're completely balmy. They look like they'd be perfect for Mordheim or something like that. He's kind of got all kinds of leather chaps. And
so this chap initially was sort of naked from behind.
He's a bold gentleman.
Yeah, he doesn't care whether or not someone sees him from behind. But I gave him a modesty pouch at the back. I felt that was appropriate.
A modesty pouch and a little water bottle to caravan to drink.
Canteen there.
And you've swapped him to look more World War kind of, is it 1 or 2 feel?
So World War II feel, so this is an American, I believe it's from a Marine sprue.
Right.
And I just had a couple of bits knocking together, and I thought, you know what, imagine if there was a more of a medieval feel to World War II, with executioners were rampant and that sort of thing. So a few challenges on this one. First of all, obviously, I changed the headpiece for a helmet, and fitting that one right on it so that it looked like it belonged on his head as opposed to it was perched on top of his hood, which was there previously. Yeah. His pistol, again,
just
I had to use a rotary tool to file out some of the torso to ensure that the pistol actually fit in place effectively. And then just a little bit of green stuff. Obviously the axe head was a dead easy swap. Yeah. That was just located in an axe, which was mean and a bit more modern looking.
There's spikes on it, so I'm guessing this is GW.
I don't think it was.
Really?
No,
I just see spikes or skulls.
Spikes, skulls. Yeah, they are the kind of archetypal GW stuff on there. No, this one again was from the box set here. So
okay.
Something which
might be a Wargames Atlantic one.
I think it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's a weird-looking figure originally,
he's a weird-looking
and he's a weird-looking figure still.
Yeah.
But a different weird.
A different weird.
A weird World War II.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, these are all pretty damn funky, so...
that was the brief?
That was the brief.
That was the brief.
So hopefully we'll get you to do some more kit bashing in the future.
Brilliant, I look forward to it.
This video has been brought to you by WI Prime, Wargames Illustrated magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WI Prime by following these links.